Welcome to English Conversations for Software Engineering. Listen, read, and practice to boost your skills.
Professor Wendell, I'm really interested in software engineering, but is it a good career choice?
I think so. You are a good leader. You'd enjoy programming in the large.
I agree. I like working in groups.
You like to investigate problems, right?
Yes, I do, but software engineering seems like it could be hard.
It's sometimes challenging when others evaluate your work, but if you are patient, it is very rewarding.
That sounds like something I can do.
Hey Grace, what are you working on?
I'm still developing the home banking application.
Wait, didn't you finish that already?
Well, sort of. I finished a version for laptops and desktops.
So, what are you doing now?
Next, I'm going to create an application for tablets.
Oh, that's a good idea. Lots of people carry tablets nowadays.
Right. That's why this version needs to work well with a touchscreen.
Thanks for calling Worldwide Comp Supply. How can I help you?
Hi, I'm calling about order number 25841. Some of the order is incorrect.
I'm sorry to hear that. What's the problem?
I ordered 36 optical mice. 30 were regular and 6 were wireless.
I see that on your order confirmation. How many were in the shipment?
Well, I received all 36 mice, but none of them are wireless.
Oh no. We'll get this fixed right away.
This is a real hassle. I needed this equipment immediately.
Again, I'm really sorry. I'll throw in 2 more mice for free.
Hey Greta, have you used the computer in the conference room?
No. Is there a problem with it?
Yeah, I think it's overheating.
Oh, that's not good. What's it doing?
Well, the processor is working really slow, and the case feels unusually warm.
Does it make a lot of noise?
Now that you mention it, the fan did seem really loud.
It sounds like you're right. If I were you, I'd replace the heatsink.
Yeah, it's probably defective. I'd better give that a try.
What did you think of that assignment about early system software?
That was a really hard assignment.
I thought so too. I can't believe people used to enter everything manually.
I know what you mean. I'm ready to study modern operating systems.
I agree. They're so much easier to use.
Are you ready for the quiz tomorrow?
I need to review that chapter again.
Don't forget to study about device drivers.
I'm not too worried about that.
Well, Mr. Clay, I removed the spyware from your company's system.
Oh, thank you. Our systems contain a lot of confidential information.
Yes, I can see that. If you don't update your security software, you could really be in trouble.
Really? You think this will happen again?
Whoever wanted your information is likely to keep trying.
I guess we'd better update the company's antivirus software then.
Definitely. And I recommend a better firewall.
What does that do?
That makes it harder for unauthorized users to access the company's network.
Can you help me with something?
Sure, what is it?
I'm confused about the difference between linkers and compilers.
OK. Well, a linker connects a program to information it needs from other programs.
Wait, I thought an interpreter did that.
No, an interpreter just reads the information so the program can run.
OK, so then a compiler is what decodes program instructions?
Exactly. It translates information from different programming languages.
I get it now. Thanks.
Did you see the memo from the CEO?
Do you mean the one about the accounting software?
Yeah. They want a whole new program for the Office suite. We're supposed to develop it by the end of the month.
I think that's a good idea. A lot of our customers probably use accounting anyway.
Yeah, but I'm worried. What will that mean for the other programs in our Office suite?
What do you mean?
Well, our word processor needs to be updated. I'm afraid that a new program will take away from that.
I see what you mean, but I think it'll be fine. Another team is scheduled to complete that update this week.
Owen, where are we on software developments?
We're working on a lot of new things, Ms. Thompson.
Last I heard, you were finishing a mobile app for cost analysis.
We finished that. Now we're working on a program for route planning.
Can you tell me more about that?
We want to adapt a satellite navigation program, but ours will be much smaller.
Why is that?
It needs to be compatible with digital assistants.
Thanks for calling Mailbag Support. How can I help you?
Hi, I just installed the new Mailbag Deluxe, but I can't open it.
I'm sorry to hear you're having trouble. Do you see the icon on your desktop?
Yes, it's there, but nothing happens when I click it.
Did you right-click the icon?
No. Should I try that?
Yeah. Go ahead and right-click it instead.
Let's see. Oh, I see. And now I click Open Mailbag.
That's right.
What's the status on the new program?
We're right on schedule.
Great. Will you finish it by next Friday?
That's 10 days away, right? And we need about 1,500 more lines of code.
1,500 divided by 10 is 150 lines per day. Can you do it?
I think so. We have 3 engineers working on it.
So you need each engineer to do 50 lines per day.
50? Oh, of course. 50 lines times 3 engineers equals 150. We can handle that.
Hi, Mr. Lennox. You wanted to see me?
Yes, Jenna. Our clients are asking about the new software update.
We're working on it. We already fixed 12 out of the 15 problems.
Well, that's 4/5 done. What about the other 3 problems?
They're tricky. The sudden shutdowns are the biggest issue.
I want you to focus on fixing that. We'll release the update as soon as that's done.
So you want us to spend 100% of our time on it?
Yes, the other fixes can wait until the next update.
Hey, Mary. How did the new programs do on the market?
The demand for the route planning program has really fluctuated.
That's strange. Why do you think that is?
It seems to increase in the summer. That's when people travel the most.
Oh, that makes sense. What about the budget mobile app?
That did better. The demand increased at a steady pace.
How do you think it will do in the future?
I have no doubt it will do well.
What did you think of my presentation?
I was impressed with your ideas, but you need to work on your presentation skills.
What do you mean?
For one, the audience couldn't hear you towards the back.
Oh, I didn't realise that. So I need to project my voice next time.
Exactly. And let's work on using fewer note cards next time.
Why? What's wrong with them?
You looked at them too much. You need to make eye contact with your audience.
I see. I guess I should practice before my next presentation. So, Ben, let's talk about next semester.
OK. Can I enroll in advanced courses yet?
Well, not quite. You still have some foundation work to finish.
Really? Like what?
First, you need to take calculus. Then you can enroll in upper-level courses.
I guess I'll do that then. What else should I take next semester?
Let's get you started on some basic computer engineering courses.
Yes, I think I'm ready for that.
I'll sign you up for computer architecture.
How do the job applications look?
There are a couple of good applicants. I like this one, Paula Gardner.
Oh, yeah? What does her resume say?
Let's see. She has a degree from Lord Technical Institute. And she worked for several high-profile firms.
So, she has strong technical expertise? Who else is there?
I like Henry Pacheco too. But he's still in college.
That might be okay. What's his experience like?
He helped develop the X99 traffic analysis software.
Really? That was a fascinating project. Those engineers really had to think outside the box.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Should I set up an interview with him?
Definitely. Experience is nice, but I'd rather go with a curious, innovative person.
Okay, I'll call Henry right away.
Hey, how is your project going?
Not very well. I'm still having a lot of problems when I try to run the software.
Really? What have you done to fix it?
I did a quick analysis of the code.
Have you tried anything else?
Yeah, I ran some standard debugging procedures. Then I tried applying some common solutions.
Huh. What will you do next?
Well, I just started a more detailed analysis of all the code.
That's a good way to start.
My 2 earlier changes helped in different ways. If this doesn't work, I might try a synthesis of both iterations.
That's a good plan. It sounds like you're addressing the problem from all angles.
If I keep looking, I'm bound to find the solution soon.
Are you ready for the accounting test this week?
I don't know. I still mix up some of the concepts.
Yeah, so do I. Do you remember the difference between an open system and a closed system?
I think so. The open system allows mass to move in and out, right?
Oh, let me make sure. Yes, that's right.
The ones that always confuse me are the extensive and intensive quantities.
Those are easy to get backwards.
So let me see if I can remember this. If you can count something, it's extensive.
That sounds right. On the other hand, intensive quantities cannot be counted.
Right, but you can measure them.
I still don't quite get how that works.
Think about temperature. You can't count it, but you can still monitor its changes.
OK, that makes sense.
Can you give me an update on the requirements for the library catalogue application?
It's going slowly. It was good at first, but we found some major problems when we did the validation.
I don't like the sound of that. What happened?
Some of the specifications were based on old data. The requirements didn't include the library's new DVD catalogue.
Oh, that's right. Originally they only included books. Will we be able to fix the problem?
We're updating the data now. Then we'll just plug it into the existing requirements document.
How long will that take?
We should have it done by the end of the week.
Oh, good. I'm really glad to hear it. I was worried that we wouldn't make the client's deadline.
I don't think that'll be a problem. We'll keep you updated.
Come in, Evelyn. Please have a seat.
Is there a problem?
No, actually quite the opposite. I really enjoyed your presentation last week on the design pattern for our current project.
Really? Thank you. It's hard to describe software architecture to clients, but I did my best.
You did a great job. Would you be interested in putting together another client presentation?
Sure, I'd be happy to.
Great. I need to give a presentation to some other clients. It's an overview of our progress on the application framework.
Sure, just send me the information. I'm sure I can put something together.
Great. We already have an implementation view. I'll send it to you this afternoon.
When will the presentation be?
The presentation is next week. Can you finish your notes by Friday? I'd like to look over them.
No problem. I'll send them to you as soon as they are ready.
We need to start on this database software. Do you have any ideas?
Well, first, we need to decide on an architectural structure.
I agree, but I'm not sure which one we should use.
We're going to bring in a lot of data from outside sources. Maybe we should think about a repository.
I thought about that, but I don't think our data will work with the repository system.
Okay, what were you thinking then?
I think pipes and filters might work better. It has better mechanisms for ordering data.
I really don't like that idea. Pipes and filters plans are more complicated than we need.
Really? I guess I don't have much experience with them.
I do, and I think we can do this with a simpler plan.
What about an abstract data type?
That could work. We would just have to design components and connectors that match our data.
Is there anything you need help with?
Actually, there is. I'm still confused about a few things.
Let's see if we can get that cleared up. What is confusing you?
Why do we need to make a call graph before adding the details?
What do you mean?
Wouldn't it save time to add the details as we create the design?
No, you need to consider the purpose of an abstraction.
An abstraction?
Yes, creating a design without details lets us find problems early. That way we can fix them before the software is too complex. Does that make sense?
Yes, I think I understand. So the cohesion of different modules is clearer in an abstraction.
Exactly. Do you have any other questions?
No, I think I get it now. Thanks.
Can anyone tell me about the limitations of a bottom-up design? Yes, Linda.
A bottom-up design has to be created from scratch. The designer has no previous function to work with.
Very good. Can you tell me about some of the benefits of a bottom-up design?
I'm not sure.
What about in regards to managing problems in a design?
Oh, well, a bottom-up design is less likely to have problems. But if it does, it's more difficult to eliminate them.
Great. And what about top-down designs?
Well, top-down designs tend to have more problems, but it's easier to eliminate them.
And how would one do that?
I'm not sure. Maybe by decomposing the software?
That's correct. It looks like you've been keeping up on the reading. Excuse me, do you mind if I ask you a few questions about your project?
Not at all. Go ahead.
I'm interested in different software design methods. Are you working in JSP?
No, but you're close. For this project, I'm using the JSD system.
Oh, that's interesting. What made you decide to plan it that way?
Well, I prefer the structured stages of the JSD system. It's easier to gauge how far along you are with the project.
That makes sense. What stage of the project are you in now?
Right now, I'm working on the network stage, but I'm having some problems.
What kind of problems?
The data flow isn't working like I hoped. I might have to go back to my DFDs before I continue.
I see. Let me know if I can help. I'd love to be involved in this project.
Sounds good, thanks.
Hi, did you want to speak to me?
Yes, please come in and have a seat. I have a project for you.
That's exciting. What is it?
I need you to create some diagrams. They're for our new accounting software.
Sounds interesting. I can definitely do that. What kind of diagrams do you need?
We'll need a collaboration diagram, a class diagram, and an interaction diagram.
Okay. Did the engineers finish mapping the object interactions yet?
No, so you'll have to work on the interaction diagram last. In the meantime, you can get started on the collaboration diagram.
Okay. Can you send me the interaction data when it's available?
Of course. Now listen, these diagrams need to be done by the end of the month. They're for a client.
So they need to be especially clear, right?
Right. I'll send you that data as soon as it's ready.
I need an update on the testing for the latest project.
I was just looking over the latest test results.
What do they say?
It looks like the software did pretty well. Only a few failures were detected.
What testing model did you use?
For this test, we used the destruction model.
Good. Use an oracle to determine where the failures are coming from. Then have an engineer fix them.
Okay, we will probably run some more tests while we do that.
That's a good idea. I think you're going to find more faults when you look at other models.
Do you have a suggestion about what testing model we should use?
I'd like to see the results from a prevention model test. But do the oracle comparison first.
Okay, I'll bring you the results shortly.
How is the testing going on the accounting software?
Actually, I have some bad news about that. The white box testing we did found a lot of faults.
That's not good. What are you going to do?
We're going to do some black box testing before we start making any changes.
Good. Are you using both dynamic and static analysis?
For now, we're just doing static analysis.
Okay. Try to get this taken care of quickly. I want this software ready for Fagan inspection by next month.
I understand. I've got the whole team working on it.
Maybe you should get another team leader to do a peer review.
That's a good idea. I can have someone do stepwise abstraction on it.
Yes, do that. I'll check back with you in a week.
Okay, we should have a lot of the problems fixed by then.
Your test sets were good for a first try, but I had some feedback for you.
Okay, I'd love to hear it.
You covered the statement coverage property really well, so that was great.
I'm glad you noticed. I worked really hard on that.
But there are some problems too.
Like what?
It seems like you relied too much on the last project's tests.
Well, I used the renaming property.
I see. I'd advise you to be careful about that. Remember the general multiple change property.
So I should try to write new tests?
Yes, whenever you can. Even if programs are similar, they often need different tests.
Oh, right. That's the anti-extensionality property, isn't it?
Yes, it's absolutely right. Just remember that next time, and you'll be fine.
I will, thanks.
The database software needs some reverse engineering. What are we doing about that?
We'll definitely need to do some redocumentation.
Really? Won't that take a long time?
It will, but the code is too unstructured to edit right now.
Okay. Do you think we'll have to edit the software after redocumentation?
Definitely. It's going to take a lot of work to modernize this software.
Should we revamp the user interface also?
I think so, but we should work on that last.
This seems like a lot of work. Why don't we just write a whole new program?
I thought about that, but I really think the legacy system has a lot of useful features.
Maybe you're right. The update probably won't take as long as starting from the beginning.
Exactly. Restructuring is much faster than writing new software.
Okay. We'd better get started.
Hey, have you got a second?
Sure, what's up?
We need to talk about the components on the library software.
Okay. Well, the material component is almost finished.
When will it be done?
Probably by the end of this week.
That's good. What about the conceptual component?
We didn't start that yet.
Oh. I think we should get to work on that as soon as possible.
I agree. Do you want to split up the levels and work on them separately?
That's a good idea. I'll take the semantic level. You get started on the task level.
What goes into the task level again?
You define the tasks performed by the user and the tasks performed by the software.
Right. And the semantic level describes the tasks more generally, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Do you think you can manage it?
It shouldn't be a problem. I'll keep you updated on my progress.
I'm excited to meet with you today.
Good. Let's talk about your experience. It says here that you worked on ergonomic design before?
Yes, I designed keyboards for a hardware production company.
How would you incorporate that experience into software design?
I think it's really important that software engineers understand the hardware for their systems.
How do you think they can do that?
They need to think about the physical way a user interacts with a computer.
I agree. Do you have experience with artistic design?
Yes, I worked on web interfaces at my previous firm.
And what place do you think artistic design has in software design?
I think it's one of the most important factors. Good software is useless if it has an inefficient interface.
That's a great point. And it says here that you have a degree in computer science.
Yes, that's right.
Well, it certainly seems like you have the qualifications for this job. I'll make my decision soon.
Hey, can you help me with something?
Sure. What do you need help with?
I'm thinking about reusing some software on a new project, but I never tried that before.
I did some black box reuse on my last application.
Did it work well for you?
Yeah, it was great. It really saved me a lot of time on the project.
Huh. Would you recommend black box reuse?
Yeah, it was okay. I used source codes that were for sale. They were more suited to the project I was working on.
Is it possible to get source codes for free?
I think so, but they might not be as specific as the kind I used.
I could just do some ad hoc application.
Yeah. It would take more time than black box reuse, but I think it would still save you time in the long run.
Do you think software reuse is a good idea? Or should I just write the code myself?
Try the reuse. If it doesn't work out, you can start from scratch on your next project.
I guess that's true. I'll look into getting the codes I need. Thanks for your help.
Excuse me, could I talk to you for a moment? I have a few questions on software reuse.
Sure. What do you need?
I don't really understand the benefits of transformation systems. Why can't engineers do that work themselves?
Transformation systems save time. While the system transforms their code, engineers can work on other projects.
Aren't they worried that the system will make mistakes?
Not really. These systems are usually pretty sophisticated. The task they perform is more basic than it might sound.
Okay, I guess I understand. Can you explain middleware to me?
Sure. Middleware is go-between software. It connects individual applications to an operating system.
But why is it necessary?
The benefit of middleware is that it helps the operating system make sure that applications are running smoothly. Middleware works even if there are a lot of applications running at the same time.
Oh, I see. It's like an application manager.
Yes, exactly. Do you have any other questions?
No, I think that clears everything up.
Great. We'll talk about this more in class today.
How do you plan to check the reliability of your new program?
I haven't even finished the standard and exception domains yet.
Yeah, but you still need to think about your reliability checks.
I guess so. What would you recommend?
When I make a program, I like to use BM and LPM.
Why do you prefer those?
I find that they give more accurate error probabilities than other methods.
I didn't know that. I'll keep it in mind when I get to that stage.
You definitely should. Accurate error checks will save you a lot of trouble in the long run.
I understand that. I'm probably going to use recovery blocks in this application too.
That's a good idea. It sounds like you have a strong piece of software.
That's what I'm hoping for. I don't want any problems like last time.
What happened before?
The application wasn't as fault-tolerant as I thought it was.
That's too bad. Did it malfunction a lot?
It did. It was disappointing, but I learned a lot from that experience.
Have you finished the specifications for the new project yet?
I'm just putting the final touches on them now.
Great. I need to talk to you about the user scale.
I think it's going to be pretty big.
Do you think it will be family level?
Actually, I'm looking at city level. If we're going to finish on time, we'll need a lot of engineers.
Wow, I guess it's even bigger than I thought it would be.
Yeah. Anyway, you might want to start selecting the environments.
Great. I'll do that right away.
What kind of environment do you think is best?
Well, we definitely need something that can manage input from a lot of people.
So do you think you will use a process-centered environment?
Probably. I just want to make sure the one we're looking at has the right tools. I want our engineers to have everything they need.
How soon can you get the environment set up?
Probably within the next few weeks. Can I talk to you for a minute? I have a request from the engineering staff.
Sure. What's up?
It involves the case software that we are currently using.
Is it malfunctioning?
Not exactly. It is kind of outdated, though. We'd like to get a new Unix program.
How is the Unix program going to help?
Well, one of our problems is the reserved checkout. Right now, only one engineer at a time can work on the program files. With unreserved checkout, several engineers could work at once.
I see. Are there other benefits?
Yes. The Unix program comes with an MWB. This would help out our project managers.
It sounds good, but I'm not sure if we have the budget for it. Is this program really necessary?
I think so. To produce software at a competitive rate, We need programs that support our engineers.
I understand that. I'll go over the budget and see if the upgrade is possible.
Great. Let me know what you decide.
Can you give me an update on that flaw that we found last week?
Yeah, I retraced all the steps to find the problem.
And were you successful?
Yes, I just finished double-checking my work.
Great. Did you send a request to the CCB about changing the baseline?
The request is already sent. I'm just waiting for them to approve it.
Great. You're really on top of things.
Well, there are still a few steps before this flaw is fixed.
Like what?
First, I need to get the latest copy of the parallel development documents.
That shouldn't take too long. What else do you have to do?
Well, then I need to merge the fixed version with the updated version.
Oh, that sounds like it could be time-consuming.
It will be, but I should be able to finish it by the end of the week.
That's the spirit. I just hope this is the only flaw we have to deal with on this project.
I do too. I definitely don't want to have to do all of this again.
Hi, Cindy. Do you have a minute to discuss the new team organization?
Yes, I'd be happy to.
Did you come up with any ideas for the latest project?
I did. I think it'll be most efficient to divide the employees into SWAT teams.
What benefit will that offer us?
With SWAT teams, we can assign specific tasks to units of employees. Each unit works independently on a particular task.
That sounds good, but I'm worried that the units won't communicate with each other enough.
That's a good point. We could create a hierarchical structure instead.
I think that might be a better idea.
Maybe, but I'm not sure if it would be the most efficient.
You're right. We need a structure with defined units, but we also need strong management.
We could use chief programmer teams.
I was just thinking that. That way, everyone knows whom to report to.
Right. But they would still be working on specialized tasks.
I like this idea. Can you start assigning employees to different units?
Sure. I can send you some lists tomorrow.
Did you see the latest quality control report?
I did. It looks like a few things are going to change around here.
I know. I was really surprised. I felt we did a good job on quality control.
Really? I expected them to find some problems. My department's having trouble meeting key practices.
Now that you mention it, I guess that's a problem in my department too.
I think we'll be okay if we redefine the key process areas.
But I didn't notice any other problems. Did you?
A few. I think the company needs to stop focusing so much on quality factors.
Really? Why?
Because it's hard for a lot of engineers to work that way. It's better to think about the quality criteria.
Oh, I understand. That way, engineers can actually measure their improvement.
Exactly.
That makes sense. Hopefully, management will address all of this at the next meeting.
I think they will. I know that most of the managers were not very pleased with the audit results.
I have the latest budget and cost reports for the accounting software project.
Great. I'd love to hear them. How do they look?
It's hard to say. The reports are a little different depending on which algorithm you look at.
Give me the good news first.
Okay. Fortunately, according to the Putnam model, we are right on schedule.
That's great. What about if you look at the Delphi method?
According to the Delphi method, we are just barely behind schedule.
That's not too bad. Why are we behind schedule?
We estimated some software sizes incorrectly. Some have a higher clock than we expected.
Will this affect the cost of the project?
It will, but the overall budget estimate is still pretty accurate. Luckily, we didn't make it too optimistic.
That's good. I can't afford to have another project go over budget.
I understand. We're working really hard to get the development time down.
Good. Keep me updated on any other changes in the budget.
I will. I'm hoping we won't have to make any more.
Hey, Shirley. Where have you been?
I was at the workshop on project management. It was interesting.
I didn't sign up for it. Was there any good information?
Overall, it was really informative. They discussed 3 main topics in project management: I learned a lot about degree of certainty.
Interesting. What else did they discuss?
They also talked about risk management. I didn't realize how important it actually is to identify risk factors early.
I hadn't really thought about it either. Did they give any tips for organization?
Yeah, that was the last topic they addressed. I already knew about a lot of them, though.
Which methods did they discuss? I'm about to run my first project, and I'm wondering what might be useful.
Well, they talked about WBS, which I use all the time. They also talked about PERT charts.
Did they cover Gantt charts?
Time ran short, so they just told us where to find more information.
I'd like to know more about it.
I'll give you some handouts from the workshop.
All right, John, let's talk about ethics.
It is an increasingly important topic in software engineering.
I'm glad to hear you say that. Can you tell me about a time when you had to defend your principles?
At my last job, my manager really pushed me to meet a deadline, but the software wasn't ready for public use yet.
What was wrong with it?
It was designed to protect private records, but it wasn't tested yet to ensure security.
So what did you do?
Well, I wanted to protect the best interests of the public. I refused to deliver the software without adequate testing.
That was very bold. Why did you make that decision?
For one thing, I have high standards for the software that I produce.
Weren't you afraid that you would be fired?
Not really. In the long run, I was protecting the welfare of the company, too.
That's great. High standards for software are important, but they should never be valued more than integrity.
Yeah, integrity is important to me. I want employers and clients to trust me.
Hey, Tanya. I'm thinking about upgrading the company's network, and I was wondering what you know about SOS.
SOS is a networking model.
I don't know much about computers. What does that mean?
Let me explain the basics. SOS stands for Software as a Service. It is a model that operates under cloud computing.
What's cloud computing?
It's a distribution of computing and storage services.
So it's a way to access information?
Yes, partly. Clients purchase the rights to a software license. Then they share that software with their users.
Okay. How do they pay for that, though?
Clients typically pay regular fees. Some companies charge users metered fees, while others prefer pay-as-you-go. It just depends on your needs.
I see. So what role does SOS play in cloud computing?
SOS is a type of cloud in which software is available over a network. In my opinion, it is a reliable way of sharing information and software.
How does someone access the software?
That's easy. You can access the cloud through any web browser.
Hey, Dana. I wanted to thank you again for your letter of recommendation.
Oh, you're welcome, Clyde. I hope you get into that engineering degree program.
Yeah, it should be a great experience for me.
Do you know what your focus will be?
Eventually, I want to be a developer, but the academic side interests me too.
So you might want to be a researcher?
I'm considering it. What do you think of that idea?
I think that's a smart move. You have to be able to analyze technology before you can develop it.
That's what I thought. Then maybe I could be a freelancer on the side.
Oh, sure. That's a great way to advance your career.
Right. Wow. It really seems like there are lots of options in this field.
There are. Software engineering is an exciting industry to work in.
Do you know where I can get more information about career options?
The IEEE is a well-respected international organization. Check out their website.
Great. I'll take a look.